Hello everyone, welcome to our video. In this video, we are going to talk about element of literature. Before we begin, let me introduce my team members. We are from group 3 and 4, and I am Ricardo Stundivit Pitububur as a moderator. The first speaker is Carlin, the second speaker is Carlos, the third speaker is Jumria, the fourth speaker is Ira, the fifth speaker is Inri, the sixth speaker is Mita, and the last speaker is Justin. So, without further ado, let's get on the video explained by all the speakers.
Hello everyone. Now we talk about what are the elements of literature. Elements of literature denote the things that are used to make up a work of literature. There are different types and forms of literature. They are novel, drama, poetry, biography, non-fictional prose, essay, epic, and short story. Even movies sometimes make use of some of these elements. All these types of the literature have some elements. To complete a page of literature, a writer, dramatics, or novelist need to use certain elements like plot, character, theme, and etc. However, elements of fictions and elements of drama differ from elements of poetry. There are some elements of literature, such as plot, characters, point of view, settings, conflict, tone, mood, and theme.
Why they are important. The first is, it's important students understand this common element if they are to competently read or write a piece of literature. The second is, understanding the first element is particularly useful when studying longer work. It enables students to examine specific aspects of the work in isolation before piecing the separate aspect back longer to display an understanding of the work as a whole. The third is having a firm grasp on how the different element work can also be very useful when comparing and contrasting two or more texts. And the last is, not only does understanding the various elements of literature help us to answer literature analysis question is in exam situation, but it also help us develop a deeper appreciation of literature in general.
The elements of literature. There are different elements of literature that plays a significant role. Let's have a look at them. The first one is plot. A plot means the sequence of different events take place in the story. The plot reflects a vivid picture of the characters of the story, and reader can easily understand about their nature through it. There are different parts of story that comes under the category of a plot. The first one is exposition. It is the information that is required for the reader to understand the story. The second is climax, a very important and turning point of the story where situation get totally changed or a character finally resolve the problem. The third is complications. It is the point in the story from where the conflicts begin. And the last is a resolution or catastrophe, when the story finally reaches on the end. It can be a happy ending or might be unfortunate for all the characters of the story. The next is character. In literature, the word character demonstrates two meanings: the individual in a work of fiction or the attributes of person. Characters must often take human form, but on occasion, a story can employ animals, fantastical creatures, and even inanimate objects as characters. Basically, the characters in a literature element are of three types. The first is protagonist. The major or central character, or we can say the real hero character. The second is antagonist, the figure who opposes the protagonist. The evil character in a story is called the antagonist. In short, a person whose action harm others. And the last is foil character. It is a supporting character.
Point of view. The point of view is a way of thinking or looking at something or the way in which a story is narrated. Point of view in literature refers to the perspective through which you experience the events of the story. There are some of the most common points of view. They are first person point of view. A story written in the first person if is told by an I where I can be the main character or a person retelling a story they were told by someone else. Second person point of view. In the second person, the narrator direct address the reader as you. Third person, characters are referred to as he and she.
Conflict in literature refers to the different drive of the character or forces involved. Conflict is most visible between two or more characters, usually a protagonist and an antagonist, enemy or villain, but can occur in many different forms. The literary purpose of conflict is to create tension in the story, making readers more interested by leaving them uncertain which of the characters or forces will prevail. Let's take a closer look at some type of conflict. 1. Man versus man. A situation in which two characters have opposing desire or interest. 2. Man versus nature. In this type of conflict, a character is surmounted by natural forces such as storm or animals. 3. Man versus self. This conflict develops from a protagonist, inner struggle, and may depend on a character trait to decide between good and evil or overcome self-doubt. And 4. Man versus society. In this type of conflict, a character must take on society itself and not a single person.
The setting is the time, place, and environment and author chooses for literary work. Each component in story setting helps to build the narrative's mood, plot, and character development. In short, the setting of a story has an important purpose in providing the reader with context on the narrative, such as describing the when and where of the setting. And the next about tone. Tone is the way feelings are expressed. A work's tone can be playful, serious, upbeat, detached, ironic, intimate, haughty, objective, and any other number of great adjectives used to describe an attitude towards something.
Dim, a literal dim is the main ideal or dwelling meaning a writer explained in a novel, short story, or a theatrical work. Usually, the theme on a work of literature can be stated in one word. Such a love, a solitude, and a work of literature can and often does have more than one theme.
Conclusion. After watch this video, you should understand about the element of literature and be able to give some example of your own. And in this video, we learn about the importance of element of literature. The last, we also discuss about some elements of literature such as plot, character, point of view, settings, conflict, tone, and theme. FYI, if you have questions, feel free to ask at the discussion rooms. Thank you so much for watching our video. We hope that video can be useful for all of you. Thank you.